Welcome to the Encouragement Engineering Podcast, where we help people to combat the negativity that inundates our daily lives with positive perspective and positive action. Today's guest is Sammy Farrens. When starting his TikTok account, our guest wanted to do videos about business and sales, the mindset of becoming successful and discovering your greatness. But to his surprise, instead of the business community reaching out and following, the mental health community soon became his crowd. People reached out telling him how his videos were changing and saving lives, how thoughts of suicide and depression were turning into life with meaning and purpose. Sammy is a professional speaker that helps individuals discover the life of gratitude while navigating a life of chaos. Open your mind beyond goals and hopes to a life of mission that gives purpose to someone and helps find new meaning in their lives. Sammy is also an author, and the inspiration behind his recent book, Broken Gratitudes, came from his TikTok followers. So please welcome to the show, Sammy Farrens. Sammy, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks, Bob, for having me. I've been looking forward to this one here for a couple weeks.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And again, I was looking at your bio too, and I realized you're a veteran. So thank you so much for your service. I really
Yes.
appreciate it. It's always good to have veterans on that have served and kept our country and where it's standing. So appreciate that.
Yeah, nope.
Well, if we can, Sammy, tell us a little bit about you and how you got to where you are, because that's an interesting bio.
Let's see here. I got to where I am. I truly believe it was all inspired by my mother.
Mm-hmm.
She unfortunately had polio her whole life, so she
Wow.
lived in life from a wheelchair. But she always found the good in it. She
Mm-hmm.
lived a full life. That was never her excuse. That was never her why she couldn't, because
Okay.
she did. I mean, she did everything. So that was, and the crazy part is we grow up in certain societies and around certain people, and we may not notice what their teachings are until way later in life.
Yeah.
And that's the way it happened to me. Is I didn't really understand. Well, man, how is she in a wheelchair? And I know she had so much love for everybody and the world and just God and everything.
Yeah.
But it was like, to me, that would be, as you said earlier, chaos.
Yeah.
And to her, it was like, no, this is a blessed life.
Wow.
And so I learned a lot of that through that,
Okay.
through her.
Yeah.
You know, um, it was going into the military and learning about mental toughness and
Mm-hmm.
stamina and what it takes to overcome the mind that's always talking to us.
Yeah.
The mind,
Yeah.
that little bitty itty shitty voice in our head that always is whispering to us. And the crazy part is, we'll listen to that whisper before we'll listen to ourselves screaming at the top of our lungs.
Wow.
you know
That's a great statement right there. Yeah, that's something. Wow. um, and that's such a true statement. I mean, we're screaming at ourselves, but we're not hearing that. How do you help people to hear that scream, if you will? I mean, that's a big one there. Tell us about that.
uh, First off, it's the appreciation of yourself,
Okay.
to allow yourself to be first in life.
Okay.
In the book, the main purpose of the book is to realize that it's not selfish. It's okay to put yourself first, to be grateful for you first, to find your happiness first, to develop your greatest life first.
Hmm.
Because the reality is without you, there's so much of the world that doesn't exist.
Right.
And
Wow.
that in itself is a gift. That's the gift that you give to everybody. We tell our kids that they can grow up and be anything they want. That's what we
Right.
aspire to our kids, but we don't show them that.
Right.
And
That's good.
why?
Wow.
You
Wow.
know, why don't
Yeah.
we show them that? Why don't we prove that to them? Because it's one thing to say it. We all know it as adults. Hey, it's one thing when a person says it. It's another thing when we see them doing it and achieving it. And then we wonder why our kids aren't. Why didn't you go after what you wanted? Well, mom, or dad, I watched you and you didn't do it. So,
Right.
you know, and why didn't we do it? Because we didn't put ourselves first. We put the bills first, the
Yeah.
other people first, the, the job that we really don't care that much for, but it suffices. We put
Yeah.
that first. And it's like, man, the biggest fear I wish I would love for everybody to engulf this. My biggest fear is to get to heaven and have whoever's at that gate go, Sammy, we're so happy to have you. We're so glad you're here. But let me show you something. This, and to show me another person and go, this was the life that we really had planned out for you. This was your greatness. This is everything you could have become. And I'm scared to death I'm going to look at a stranger.
Right. Wow. Wow. It hits reality right there. Wow. Yeah, that's, I mean, just put that in perspective when you're watching a movie that's supposed to be about your life and it's like, what? That's not me. Wow, that puts it right in your face. Well, how can you help people to overcome, if you will? I mean, you hear about all these different ways to live life to the fullest, etc. But the reality is being a grown up, you've got bills, you've got, this, you've got that. How do you balance all that?
For one, understand there is no balance.
Okay. Very good. Okay.
uh, Start.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I wish there was, we overcomplicate it with, oh, do this process or do this
Right.
great thing or, you know, just start and understand that whatever you're starting may not be it.
Hmm.
That may not be your thing, but maybe that's the reason that it leads into this thing and that thing. And before you know it, you're at whatever you feel like your purpose is and you were meant for.
Right.
I turned my painting business into what started out for me was to make money, and then it became a purpose of making people feel a certain way when they see their new interior or exterior of their house, because
Right.
that's an emotional thing. And I turned that, what it made me feel like, into, man, if I can do this through somebody's paint job of a house, what can I do to help shift their mindset on themselves?
Hmm.
So it was, we never know the road that's going to be traveled. It took a painting company to make me go, how can I help people not be depressed every day?
Right. Right.
It
Yeah.
makes no sense at all, but that's the road that I went down, and we all are going to go down these crazy, weird roads that we may not understand, but
Right.
it's there.
But that's a great analogy right there because I mean, yeah, we don't know. You start, you go in, like you said, that emotion of like you said, painting a room or a house. What that does for people, you saw that connection with that emotion, and that's what's critical, I think, because that's what helps people to understand, hey, that looks nice, and that happiness they feel, because it turns into that feeling, and that's where the heartstrings get touched. um wow, that's a great scenario, great idea you have right there, because excuse me, it also talks about when you shift that mindset. I find it interesting, you're building up stuff for your TikTok followers in one realm, and then you turn to the other. That's what did it, was that emotion.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I go live a lot
Mhm.
on different platforms, but especially TikTok. And I, for me, Bob, I'm going to tell you, all the money in the world, whatever it is, there is nothing that compares to when somebody reaches out to you and says, "Dude, you saved my life."
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there, and it's through a 30-second video.
Hmm.
And here's the reality: most of the people that are going through those things, depressions, anxieties, suicidal thoughts, what did I just give them?
Right.
I gave them some place that they can be heard.
Right. Wow.
and that was it. That's what they wanted. They wanted just somebody. So many times it's just somebody to listen to them, to not give my opinion, to not give my advice, what I think that they should be doing. No, let them just be heard.
Right.
And that right there in itself, it changes lives.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah, and that's that's being heard. You give them a hope too. I think that's
yeah.
with what you may say, that gives them a hope. They can wait a second. What if I try that? I mean, just like you said with your business. I've got another friend of mine that does painting as well here in Florida, and that's what I helped coach him when he was ready to hang up his business. And it was like, well, let's shift the way we look at this, and that emotion and that excitement, and it shifts your mind to take action, like you said, take that step. And all of a sudden, it builds up different things that they take action, and you start to grow, and personally in your business and how you interact with people. um
Mm.
how does that, in a way, does that help people get out of their own way, if you will?
Well, the reality is this is what I found anyway. Most people don't even know that they're in their own way.
It's so
You know,
true. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
most
Can't see the
people,
forest for the trees.
yeah. If you ask somebody, like, common question we ask, when we see somebody is, "Hey, how's your day going?"
Right.
Right there in that moment, their conscious mind is saying, "Well, I better tell them something positive." So let me think, "Oh, it's going good," or "It's great," because that's just a lame answer to a lame question, actually. The reality is, if a person, and this is something I would invite your audience to really do, ask yourself these two questions. Can you tell me, and ask it to yourself, can you tell me one great thing that is going on in your life today?
Hmm.
Second question, can you tell me one not so great thing that's going on in your life today?
Hmm.
Now answer this. Which one of those questions was easiest to answer?
Right.
Which one
Oh,
came to mind first?
right. The negative one, most likely. Yeah.
Most likely. You want to know where your life's really at, where your mindset's really at? That's where it's at.
Right.
And it's being honest with yourself that, hey, how you doing today? Well, you know what, dude? I'm not doing that great, but I'm looking for a way to make it better.
I love that answer. Wow. That's great. I love that.
You know,
Yeah.
and at the
Wow.
end of the day, the whole thing is to find honesty with yourself. I mean, we are the only people that have heard every word that's come out of our mouth and every thought that's went through our head.
Right.
And that's why it's so easy to lie to ourselves.
Right.
You know,
Wow. Yeah, that's wow. And that's intriguing too, because I mean, that's what helps. If I don't want to say help, but in a way it keeps you from your full potential, or realizing a positive thing in every day. I mean, we have power within us, we have greatness within us, but that, it kind of limits us seeing that, doesn't it?
oh yeah. Well,
Mm.
and it goes back to the acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have greatness in us.
Yeah.
Do we really accept that we do?
Right.
How many people go, not me?
Right.
No, I'm not that guy. I
Right.
wasn't raised that way. Do you see where I live? You know, dude, you know how powerful you are? No, I'm not that guy. I'm not
Uh-huh.
that powerful.
Yeah.
You have to accept, and to me, it's find acceptance first.
Mhm.
Realize that a shift or a change can happen, and then apply action to it.
Right.
You know, but it all starts with the realization, or I'm sorry, the acceptance of it, that you do have it.
Right.
And again, I think that a lot of that, unfortunately, goes back to even my own upbringing. I wasn't brought up to believe that, hey, Sammy, you're great and you're excellent and you're powerful and you're
Right.
not that my parents were trying to do anything wrong, but that just wasn't my world.
Right.
So we have to develop that world in ourselves, you know, and that's where it's so hard. I'm 48 years old. I've got 48 years of these habits of telling myself, I'm not great. I'm
Mhm.
not this. I'm not that. And to develop this new mindset, this positivity, the gratitude, the happiness, the joy, everything, it takes time.
Yeah.
I got 48 years to
Yeah.
overcome,
Right.
you
Right.
know. So it's stay consistent with it. You do it, tell yourself, and I'm big on, I'm not so big on affirmations, but I am in the fact of, if I can tell myself I'm an amazing badass,
Mhm.
but I got to do it 500 times a day, that's fine.
Yeah.
But now I got to do something today that actually makes me that amazing badass.
Right.
That's where your mind will actually go, hey, look, we're doing this. Okay,
Yeah.
we really are. You
Well, it
know,
was interesting when you booked the time for this. It was quick, boom, right there. I was like, okay,
oh,
he's that was one of those things. Like, oh, I could picture this going through your mind. I gotta book this. You could click the thing. I'll get to that, or I'll do it now. Boom, take that
yep,
action. Do it now. If you want to be that one that you're responsive. What's that person you want to be? What would they do in this situation? And you did that. Click, boom, done. Appointment
yep,
set. Move on. And I think we can do that in our lives too. As you mentioned it, it's just what's that action you've got to take to overcome that doldrum. Like you said, I'm with you. I'm the same thing as, I might have to repeat that to myself multiple times, whether it's, you know, do this now, do this now, do this now. Don't put it off because we all want to procrastinate. Do it now, or, take that action. Why not? You never, if you take the action, what's it going to hurt? You're either going to learn or you're going to, get what you want. So,
oh yeah.
try it.
I think the biggest problem that most people have is they try to overwhelm themselves with it.
Yes.
You know, it's, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds.
Yeah.
So our brain automatically goes to a point where it says, all right, we got to lose 50 pounds. And we start telling ourselves, like, okay, well, I got to figure out a diet. Now I got to go shopping. And now I got to get in the car. And then I got to pack the groceries in. And then I got to go find a gym. And then I got to figure out how to work out at the gym. And I got to figure out these new machines. And I got to,
Yeah.
oh my God, what? And your brain's going, okay, you know what? Never mind. Just sit here on the couch and binge watch this next show.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if we can shift it to go, hey, you know what? I need to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to get up and go for a walk around the block.
Right.
Just get up and go for a walk around the block. I watched a gentleman, I personally know a gentleman that had to lose 150 pounds
Wow.
to get a surgery done.
Hmm.
And he called me and we talked about it. And that's what he was going through was, dude, that's a lot of weight. That's a human,
Yeah. Right.
you know, how do I do this? And I said, get a can and fill it up with, rocks or something. And I want you to walk as far as you can, but make sure you can walk back home.
Yeah.
But as soon as you've walked as far as you can, put that can down. Just put it down wherever, somewhere, nobody will throw it away.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, I want you to move the can. Just move it. I don't care if it's a foot. I don't care if it's 5 foot. Move the can.
Wow.
And then the next day, move it again. And every day, your goal is to move that can. And that's
Wow.
that's the goal. It took him 3.5 months. He lost 150 pounds.
Wow.
Now
Wow.
he did. Now I will say that was the start.
Right.
That was the beginning of, okay, now what do I need to do next?
Right.
Okay, now I got to start watching my food. What am I doing? My macros, micros,
Right.
calories, you know. But he started,
Right.
you
That's
know.
wow. That's a great analogy because it can be very simple. And yeah, like you said, we overcomplicate things. I remember Zig Ziglar having a similar story like that where, you know, walk to the mailbox. Okay. Walk to the mailbox plus the next driveway's mailbox. Okay. Run to the mailbox and then the next mailbox and then the next. And, pretty soon, yeah, you're running 3 miles, 4 miles, whatever it may be. But yeah, that start, people stare at the step in front of you, not the whole staircase, just the one in front of you, and take that step. Oh,
That's yeah. Yep. And
right,
that's where the mental toughness, the stamina, the encouragement of yourself,
right,
like your belief in yourself, that's where it's all in that journey. But
right.
just like any journey, literally any journey you're gonna do in your life, you got to get up and walk to the bathroom. That's a journey.
Yep.
What do? You take one step at a time.
Yeah. Wow.
Or if you really got to go bad, you run.
Yeah. Great. Well, let's touch on that idea because we mentioned a couple of goal and what's the difference between having a goal and having a mission? And I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but if you can fill us in on that.
uh, being from military, being the military background, the civilian side of me says a goal is something that we strive for.
Mhm.
We want to achieve it. We hope that it happens. I'm going to put effort into it, and I wish every day that I'm going to achieve it.
Okay.
In the military, when you're taught a mission, that's a have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's a must.
Right.
It has to be done.
Okay.
If not, you know, literally people could die. If
Yeah.
you're not, if you're not completing this mission, people's lives are on the line.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a
And
good point. Wow.
I mean, that's the difference. And to bring the mission out of the military and put it into your civilian life and your civilian mind is to say, hey, you know what? I have a mission every day.
Yeah.
And my mission is to, if you're just starting out and say you're broke as could be, because hey, that's where I know I've been there.
Hmm.
I didn't look at it as, all right, what can I do to make $100,000?
Right.
I looked at it as, what do I need to do? My mission today is to make sure that my kids eat tonight.
Yeah. Right.
And then tomorrow, what's my mission? Well, to make sure they can eat tonight and whatever.
Right.
And you build on that mission, you
Hmm.
know, and it's
It,
not a goal.
No, it's a
You know,
mindset because like you said, a mission seems more direct, more permanent. Like you said, people's lives are at stake. It puts a bigger meaning to it. I think that's what's critical too, because a goal, as you were saying that, think about it. There's kind of okay, I hope to get to it. That would be nice. A mission, no, it's happening. So,
yeah.
that puts
And
it in a very strict perspective.
oh yeah. And I think it's the goal. I have nothing against, the goal and the
Yeah.
goal concept, but I think it's been over saturated.
Hmm.
Oh, how do I achieve my goals? What do I make them too big? Do I make them too small? I got to put a timeline. How
Yeah.
much is too much time? What is too short a time? Look,
Yeah.
man, have a mission and
Hmm.
go after that son of a gun and understand that it, it it's got to be done.
Right.
Like
Right.
there's no going back. It has to be done.
Yeah, burn the boats.
Burn the boats. I love Tony Robbins saying
Yeah,
that. Burn the boats.
yeah, right. It can be scary, but sometimes you need that too.
Yeah.
That's yeah, there's definitely something there for that. Um, does having a mission help develop your vision, or do you think it's the other way around? A vision help develop the mission?
Hmm. That's a good question. That ain't got me thinking. Oh, well, that's good. Uh, no, I would say the vision would still come first.
Okay. Okay.
I'm thinking of it more from again, there's another concept, the fake it till you make it,
Right.
which I'm not a proponent of. But the concept of it is to put yourself there as if you've done it,
Right. Right.
you know. But in doing the whole fake it till you make it is, I'm not taking pictures in front of a Lamborghini saying, "Ooh, look at my car,"
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But I put a Lamborghini up on my wall and say, "That's my mission."
Right.
And
Gotcha.
and what does it take to get to that?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
And it's okay to
So
drive a Chevy before you drive the Lamborghini.
yeah, yeah. I've
So,
drove a couple of those.
yeah. Well, Sammy, where can people find out more about you and what you offer and your website and your book and everything like that?
The book actually is not out yet. You can
Oh, okay.
pre-order it. No, trust me. I'm new to the book thing.
Hmm.
Uh, I never wrote a book before. Thank you, TikTok followers, for putting that in my life. No, it was an awesome process. It was
Yeah,
very fun. I'm actually already started a second book. I enjoyed it so much.
good.
Um, but you can pre-order the book on my website at discovermentaledge.com.
Okay.
And that's that's probably the best place to just, if you got questions or anything like that, go to that website. If you just want to see what's going on in my crazy daily life, you follow me on Instagram.
Okay.
Uh, that's the underscore Sammy J. And then the old TikTok is just Mental Edge.
Okay. Great. Well, we'll make sure we put that all in the show notes so people can get on there and follow you and see what you're about and get those books pre-ordered. So, but I wanted to thank you today for, the insight, the encouragement, and I wanted to thank you for being a guest on the Encouragement Engineering podcast. So, thank you so much for taking this time.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it, Bob. Yeah, no, this was fun. This was fun. Anytime
Good.
somebody's asking me questions that challenge me, I look at it as a growth and I'm like, So,
Yeah.
no, absolutely loved it, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem. You have a great one then.